and thousands of my countrymen have been murdered. Thousands of them. And for that, you're going to be held accountable. Every single one of you law enforcement officers, every single one of you goes. We've broken the social contract here, Rick. There is no social contract. They've committed the crimes. The evidence is overwhelming. They are still committing these crimes. They have no intention to backing off. They have no intention of ever having any sort of, saying sorry, any of that. They are doubling down and tripling down. And there's only one answer to that. If you're going to be fair on our body count, if you're going to be fair, because if you're not going to hold these people to account, then no justice can be done for those dead and injured. Sorry, Rick. So we have big challenges in the nation, Rick. Big challenges. And we can't move on. We can't move on until we've had closure. We can't get closure until we have military intervention. We have to have military tribunals. Give them a half a day. That's the charge. That's the evidence. How do you plead? State your defense. Write you're guilty out the back and then fucking hang them. Hang them. Nothing else is going to suffice. Nothing. I want to move on, Rick. I want to move on.
Look, hang on. Let me just jump in. Can I just jump in really quickly on the military tribunals? Because this is going to send a shiver up the spine of all the civilians out there. Because they're going to say, well, we're not subject to military tribunals. Really? Well, guess what, folks? I'll be doing up next week when we're on the Green Room, I'll be doing an update on what is the manual for court martials in the United States. Now, we spoke about the law of war, and we told people how dependent upon the rule of law every white hat operation was, as it should be. But guess what they haven't been talking about, and it's coming out now. We've put it on our social media feed, but I'll be summarizing it for the people next Tuesday, so tune into next Tuesday's Green Room. But the short version of this is the manual for court martials has been lawfully amended. Now get this, folks, lawfully amended in such a way that civilians can now be charged. It's all lawful, and we'll go through that. But what that means is all you civvies out there that think you're not subject to military law, think again, guess again, sunshine. You'll be for the high jump. And as you said, the tribunals will be there. The evidence is there. There's over 500,000 sealed indictments. And each indictment could hold up to 90 different names. And they are going through them one by one. They're hearing the charge and they're executing them. Now, you mentioned something else. The people need to see justice. They are going to see it. This is going to happen next year. The tribunals will be on it next year. They will see what they deserve to see. They will see the justice is being meted out according to law. So every civilian out there, now the next defense they'll say is, but we're Australian. Ha! Welcome to the new world, Australia. Welcome to the new world. So pay very careful attention. Everybody, every copper. Well, let's go through the list. Every politician, every judge, every bureaucrat, every general, admiral, air marshal, every copper, every unionist, every big business, every academic, everybody in the media, every church, synagogue, mosque, lodge, and temple. Watch them, because you're now subject to military law, courts martial, and we'll give you the rundown next Tuesday. So just giving a bit of a boost to the long-suffering people of Australia, and anybody in Australia who's been involved in this. You're for the high jump, folks. Nothing to do with me. Watch this space. You can go on.
Thank you, Rick, and you're spot on. You're spot on, mate. Anyone that thinks they're going to get away with this, mate, they are dreaming. Look, Rick, look. Law enforcement, right, along with big tech, right, have spent years and years and years installing in the bits and pieces, mate, okay, a watertight surveillance of the entire Australian population. They've done the same in Europe, the same in America, and on it goes. They've put in place airtight surveillance, okay, to be used against us. Well, guess what's happened? Guess what's happened, mate? Our people now have in their custody all of that infrastructure. So the surveillance state that was being used against us is now being applied to all of them. They are no longer watching us. They are no longer surveilling us. It is they themselves that are under surveillance. All their black operations, all their movements, all their associations, every single piece of metadata is everything that goes through the Five Eyes veins. All of it goes to the NSA, to Admiral Mike Rogers, who used to be at that top. All of it used to go through the General Michael Flynn with the Defense Intelligence Agency. All of it now sits at Trump's feet and his law enforcement military machine. Every single fraction of it, they have it all. They have it all, Rick. Okay.
And just in answer to the people,
that's where they've now got to understand. They're finished. They're finished. They are going to be held accountable, unlike any other war in the history of mankind. In this war, every single one of their chicken necks is now on the block, and they'll rat each other out. You watch them. They will rat each other out. They ain't watching Como John. We're now watching these bastards. What a hoot. What a hoot. I never thought I'd see the day. Sorry, Rick, over to you.
No, you're right, because one more thing for the folks back at home, just to cheer them up and to explain why it's taken so long. And I know everyone's been complaining, why is it taking so long? We've done our best to explain it. But one of the key parts to this was the changes to the manual for courts martial. When they were put in place, any crimes that preceded the changes, they couldn't be charged. The bad guys could not be charged retrospectively because the manual for court martials had been adjusted by various presidents to consistently protect the crooked people. So they couldn't be charged. So Donald Trump and the White Hats adjusted the manual for court martials, but they couldn't retrospectively charge them for crimes before the amendments. So they had to allow them to commit all those crimes all over again. And as John just said, they have it all. So the crimes had to be recommitted by the same people under new rules of the new manual for court martial. And that includes civilians. So ladies and gentlemen in ASIO and ACES and everywhere else, you think you're getting away scot-free. The coppers, you think you're getting away scot-free. The bureaucrats, you think you're getting out of this? Media, you think you're getting out of it, and it's all lawful, folks. It is all lawful. So just letting you know, that's why it took so long. One of the reasons, the changes to the manual for court martials, and they had to allow these criminals to recommit the crimes because you can't be charged retrospectively. They had to recommit the crimes, and as John said, and as we've heard 100 times, they have it all. Okay, back to you, John.
Look, Ricardo, the day I now have no fear about the criminals and the cartels and these people being held accountable, right? I'm over that any concerns held whatsoever. They're all going to go down. And using the organized crime laws, the RICO laws, anyone that's been part of that crime syndicate, all they've got to do for you cops, I'll tell you how you're going to get necked. All they've got to do is declare the New South Wales Police Force a criminal syndicate. That's it. And anyone inside that's got any fingerprint in any way to any crime that the New South Wales Police Force have committed goes down. All of you will go down. That's all they've got to do. And the qualification of being a crime syndicate is easy. They just need a few crimes so they can show consistency. As long as the crimes are committed across state borders, they can show that easily qualifies. Then they can easily come up in one hit and say the New South Wales Police Force is a crime syndicate, a crime family, and so therefore any crimes committed by that force, anyone with their fingerprints on it, is all guilty of the same crimes. This is going to be biblical. Biblical. What a takedown. What a takedown. And law enforcement, your secret societies, your secret handshakes, your secret oaths are going to mean jack shit by the time these Marines get through with you. You ain't going to know what hit you. You will squeal like a fax machine. It's coming. It's coming, everybody. Now, again, the danger that we are in is ourselves. Ourselves. If we clean this shithole up, we get given the greatest gift we could ever be given. And if we're not ready for it, we're going to start rebuilding the same shit that we got ourselves out of. You understand? I mean, we are going to be given like a 15-year-old kid. We're going to be given a brand new Ferrari. And what are we going to do if we're not ready? We're going to jump in it. We're going to redline it. And by the time we hit the end of the street, we're going to total the car. And this time, mate, there's going to be no second chances. We ain't going to get this chance again, ladies and gentlemen.